Hi, I'm Mike with Pro Irrigation Training, and in this video, we're going to go through the troubleshooting steps of figuring out a problem with one zone having weak pressure. Okay, the very first step that you're always going to do in a situation like this is to do a timer troubleshoot. So we're just going to have our multimeter with us. We're going to walk up to the timer, turn the zone on. Does it appear like it's running? We're going to look at the readout on the timer. Does it look like it's working appropriately? Then we're going to check the voltage on that zone, turn it to some other zones, check the voltages, make sure there's nothing bleeding over. And then we're also going to check our resistance on all the circuits to make sure that there's no problem. Now, 98% chance that it's not electrical, but there are maybe one particular instance that I've had personally happen to me once, maybe twice, is that these solenoids on the valves generally take around 17 volts to open. And so it had a situation where the timer was putting out about 18 volts. And so, there's some loss as it goes out, down the wires to the solenoid. So looked like it was putting out enough, maybe right on the line. It should be opening the solenoid, but let's go see. We went out to the valve and the valve was chattering. So some water was coming through the zone and a little bit was leaking out all the heads, but with the solenoid chattering like that, it couldn't fully open up. So, but that's maybe one of the only instances I've ever thought about that could possibly be electrically caused in this situation of one zone with weak pressure. So more than likely, it's going to be a mechanical issue with the valve or with the zone pipes or something like that, right? So first thing we're going to do, once we figure out that everything's okay at the timer, turn the zone on, run it, and let's go and inspect the entire property. Now, take a little bit of time on this one because this might be an area that trips you up. It has tripped me up in the past, and people may add a drip line to an existing rotor or spray zone that's off somewhere and it's all buried and it's got a leak. It's kind of hard to find, and sometimes you just have to let it run for a while and just walk around, look and look and look. And I'm just kind of giving you some thought processes of getting from point A to point B, is that we're looking for a leak first and foremost. And now also maybe what you want to do is go and look at the meter and determine if the meter is turning as fast on that zone as it is other normally operating zones. And that can tell you right there if hardly any water is coming out of the heads, but the meter is spinning just as fast as it would on another zone, then you know you've got a pipe break or a leak somewhere that you're just not seeing. And I've seen leaks before that were like somehow going down into rocks and never presenting on the surface. And those are wild issues, but very rare. So normally you're going to see it there. So check your meter, check the property, walk around. So next thing we're going to do is find the valve in question. So whatever zone it is that the zone is running weak, we're going to go find the valve for that zone and observe it. Do we hear any chattering or anything going on? And look first to see if it has a flow control. If it has a flow control knob on the top, try to open it up. Many times I've walked up to zones that were barely running and somebody had run the flow control all the way down on it. Now these things can vibrate with use, but for it to be all the way cranked down, then somebody did that, right? So, but just look, see if it opens up. If it doesn't have a flow control, well, go shut your main water off and disassemble the valve. Stick your finger down inside the valve body to see if you can feel any rocks or PVC shards or anything that might be blocking the flow. And since you've got the valve disassembled, go ahead and rebuild it. I mean, most 1-inch residential valves are what, 25 bucks at this point, maybe 28 at most, something like that. So just go ahead and rebuild it, put you a new diaphragm, top of the bonnet, the whole bit, and a new solenoid on there. See if that helps. Okay, so that's not helping. So now we're into a really weird space. So it's going to have to be some kind of clog or crimp in the zone pipes. Now, when you were walking the yard at first, you should have been looking for any evidence of cable construction or any other kind of work done on the ground. Ask the customer, has anybody been here? Or has anybody been here on the property doing work and so forth? And sometimes they don't even know, because a lot of times if they're going to bring a new phone line or cable line across the back of your property, sometimes they don't even ask permission, they just do it. And then you walk out and they go, oh my gosh, I didn't even know. And you see the seam to where they've drug a vibratory plow and it's hit the PVC pipe and it didn't break it. Instead, it crimped it, and then they pulled the blade up and went on and dropped it back down. So now you have a pipe that's crimped and hardly any water's coming through. And unless you see the evidence of that happening, you may never find it. But almost always you're going to find some evidence, or the customer is going to know that it happened in a certain place and it give you somewhere to start looking. But let's talk about a situation I was on yesterday morning. A fence company had hit the lines, had repaired them, and I'd already been there changing some heads and everything was working fine. Well, 3, 4, 5 times after that, as it kept running it, well, there was rocks and dirt in the line from where they had made the original damage. And what happens is they'll turn the system on, and it fills the hole up with water and then sucks it back down in there, or they hit it while it's running, or something happened. But anyway, it had sucked a bunch of dirt and rocks and shot it all the way down to the last head in the line. And so, we had to not only take the fitting off where the head was, but we had to dig the flexible pipe up all the way about, I don't know, 12 or 15 feet to where the original connection was, cut the PVC line completely off and take the barbed elbow off to where the connection was to run out to the head, and then put a fitting on it and blow all the dirt out. I put an elbow and a long piece of pipe that hung outside the hole there, so you're not recontaminating your pipe. Turned the zone on, blew it all out. So these are all of the factors for finding a zone or troubleshooting a zone that has low pressure.